This is Jim from Merlin Guitar Works. Welcome to the video. This time I'm working on radiusing the fretboard, and also towards the end I will be working on the inlay that I put together for this guitar. So what I have here is I kind of made a jig on an old piece of plywood that I've got, so that I could basically did the double-sided tape glue trick thing and put a couple of pieces of wood on either side. So I glued the neck down, and then I'm using a sanding block to basically radius over the fretboard using 40 grit sandpaper. And this was way cut down, but it actually turned out pretty good. And so here's where I start working on the inlay. I found this image on Google of a P51, printed it out, made sure it was the right size, and then what I'm doing is I'm going to make the inlay out of abalone shell and some other material that I got from eBay. So I actually had some other video, but none of it was like the angles were all wrong. You couldn't really tell what I was doing. So I kind of cut a bunch of it out, but basically the majority of it was doing this, cutting the small pieces out, marking it on the fretboard, and then slowly going through with the Dremel and the attachment there to route out the pieces, and then make sure that the shell material fits. And then once I have what seems like a good fit, I pull the piece out, fill it with super glue, and then push the piece back in, which is kind of coming up here. I actually made the attachment for the Dremel to fit into, because when I tried to use the other thing that I had before, you can see on the wings of the plane, it's definitely not as sharp of an edge for that to fit in, so it could certainly look a lot better than it does, but it could also look a lot worse. And so here I'm fitting the tips of the propeller, which this is supposed to sort of mimic the propeller spinning, fitting that piece into the fretboard. And I'm going to use the maple dust you see there on the left, which is left over from where I was sanding the fretboard, to kind of fill in the gaps. Unfortunately, with the super glue, it kind of dries a little darker than what the fretboard is, so you do see a little bit of an outline around there, which I guess as I do more of these, it'll start to look better. But for now, it's not bad. So went through, did this, and then it took a lot of sanding, and these files work really well on the shell material to get it down to the fretboard. And then I go back over with some more sandpaper on that radius block to kind of smooth it out. And so this is what it kind of looks like once I'm done. I did add another piece, the cone of the propeller, just to give it a little bit more sort of shape. But I think it turned out pretty good. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Hopefully there was some stuff maybe that you picked up, and thanks for watching.